All right, class. I just want to take a few moments to talk about our critical assignment. So here are the instructions. So if you go to week 7, you'll see the link for the critical assignment there. And I just want to give you guys some a little bit more specifics about it, so that everybody's on the same page. So the general instructions are basically you're gonna do your own research for this assignment. You're gonna look up, uh, so you have to go to the library website, the CBU library website. Make sure that you're familiar with that. You're gonna look in, here are some examples of the journals that you can use. So Medicine and Science and Sports and Exercise, Journal of Physical Fitness and Sports Medicine, International Journal of Sports Medicine, Research Quarterly for Exercise and Sport, Journal of Athletic Training, the Strength and Conditioning Journal. These are all different sources that you can use. So when you go to the library's website, just use their search engine and um, look up the specific topic you want to look for, and it'll probably bring up articles that are within these journals. You have to write basically a review of the article, and it should be a minimum of 3 pages. You're going to submit a copy of the article highlighted. So the article that you chose, you're going to highlight it for me. Make sure, showing where you found each part of the of your information. It says when you choose to use exact words of the authors in your written reviews, use direct quotation, and make sure that you're doing this in APA format. So here are the breakdown of the review here. So you can either choose to do a review of a research study or a review of a case study. So I'm about to show you guys the difference between those two. But as you can see, for each one of the reviews, there's different parts that you're gonna have to fulfill. So for both of them, the citation is gonna be important. You gotta make sure that you give me a full citation for the article that you chose. Um, you want to do that on a separate page than your actual paper, so just label it references and then put the citation on there. Now, when I talk about citation as in a part of your assignment, that's going to be, like I said, on a different page and all, and APA formatted and all that. Now, when we talk about citation within your paper, so let's say you wrote something, like I said right here, like let's say it's a direct quote, you have to cite that within the paper in APA format as well. So if you're not sure how to do that, you guys have to make sure that you contact someone from the library and get more information on that. There's also a book that will show you how to do that, and it's the publication manual of the American Psychological Association, and that is probably in the library as well, and it will show you how to cite properly. So just to kind of get back to this here, let me show you the research study. So I've pulled up a traditional research study. This study is called the Accelerated versus Traditional Rehabilitation After Anterior Talofibular Ligament Reconstruction for Chronic Lateral Instability of the Ankle in Athletes. So this is a little bit of a more advanced study, which, I mean, by all means, you guys can use studies like this, but this is just an example to show you the difference. So in a typical research study, they're going to have patients, they're going to have subjects, and they're going to be testing something. They're going to give one group some sort of exercise, some sort of drug. They're going to be testing something, a variable. And they're going to have the second group where it'll be the control group. So they'll have them do similar things as the study group, but without that one specific variable. So it says one of the things you need is a purpose. So the purpose you're going to find in the background and hypothesis. So if you look here, once you get, so usually the article will start off with the introduction, and that'll give you an idea of where their study is going and why they're trying to perform this study. The next thing that you need is methods. So the methods section usually is labeled methods. So here we have materials and methods. What's included in there is your subjects. So how many subjects, what kind of subjects, are they male, female, both, their age, if it's a training study, then what is their training level? All of that will be included in the method section. So you'll be able to find all that within here. Results. So once you go through the method section, oh, I'm sorry, let me go back to methods. So methods will also tell you how they perform the study. So make sure that you include that in your methods section, okay? So here they talk about the surgical technique that they used. And then here they give you the type of training that they gave each group after the surgery. So results will be labeled results, and here there's going to be a lot of statistical numbers. I don't specifically need every single number, but I do want you to pick out the important figures that they note on here. So if there was a major or significant difference between both groups in a certain measurement that they made, then please include that. Make sure that you highlight that in your review. Conclusions will probably be in the discussion if it's not labeled conclusion. And this is where the authors basically, recap their study, and they talk about what they found and how it's relevant. So make sure that you summarize that. Critique. So the critique is going to be basically where you get to give your opinion on the study. Now, in the actual article, this one doesn't have one. There may be a section called limitations, or it may also be called critique, and this is where the authors can also just basically say what were their shortcomings in the study. They may say they didn't have enough subjects, or they didn't have enough time to do the study that they wanted to, maybe some improvements that they could make on the study. So that is where you can get some ideas of what you're trying or what to include in your critique. But I also want to see your own thoughts, like what you think could make this study better, and what the authors maybe missed, or what they did wrong, if there is any, obviously. Now, implications. So this is going to be important. It says, in your own words, what does it all mean? Practical applications on information presented. So here, I need you guys to, in your own words, describe why this is important, why this study is important, and how the information that you just read and the results of the study, how all that can be applied right now. So in this study specifically, they're trying to test accelerated rehabilitation compared to traditional rehabilitation after there's been an ATFL reconstruction. So they're testing two different types of rehabilitations. One's accelerated and one's traditional. So once I get to the results part and the discussion, I understand what the results were and what the study actually proved, then I can take that and say, okay, based on this, accelerated rehabilitation, where they had these specific exercises, can be beneficial for an ATFL reconstruction for chronic lateral instability ankle in certain athletes. And that's where it's important to know what kind of subjects they had and all that, because this subject is very specific, right? I mean, we're talking about specific athletes that had ATFL reconstruction. So we can kind of say, okay, it definitely worked for these subjects. Maybe it can work for athletes that maybe don't have ATFL reconstruction, but it could help prevent a certain injury. So that's where you guys need to, analyze the information that you just read, and then give me your thoughts on it and how we can apply this. And you can use whatever sport you want. Like if you want to give a specific example, you can use whatever sport you want. If there's a certain demographic that you work with already, let's say you work with in a physical therapy clinic and there's a subject that you're really interested in, give me examples of that. How can you use it right now? So the case study. So again, you guys have a choice: research study or a case study. One of those two only, okay? So let me show you a case study now. So this here is a case study. It's called Objective Functional Assessment After a Head Injury Using Movement and Activity in Physical Space Scores, a case report. So it tells right here that it is a case report. So the difference between a case report and a regular research study is that typically a case report will focus on one person only. So you can see here the background. It says a 21-year-old female soccer player suffered a blow to the back of the head from an opponent's shoulder during an away match. So right away they're telling you that this whole study is basically on one person. It's usually because of a unique situation that they're focusing on this one person, and then they wanted to publish their findings on this. This is not, a group of 40 people where they split them up into two groups and tested one thing or another. This is something where something happened to a subject or a person, and now they're gonna summarize everything that happened with them, and they'll give you their evaluation and what kind of treatments that they had, things like that. So for a lot of the times, it's a kind of after the fact study, something that already occurred. But for a case study, you'll also have similar things that you have to include in your review. So you still have an objective, you have a background, differential diagnosis, treatment, uniqueness, conclusions, implications. So again, you're going to find all these parts within the case report, and they're all labeled pretty much with headings. So here again, these are really important. Make sure that you note, okay, what did the authors find? What could they have done differently? And then implications, again, in your own words, what does it mean? And how can we use it right now? Okay, so just wanted to show you guys the difference between both and the different parts that you're going to be responsible for. And you're going to be writing this in APA format. So you can have these headings within your writing, like if you want to break down each section, or you can just write it all in paragraph form. But I need it to be in proper APA format, as if you're writing a regular essay. So it has to be in third person. There is no I or we. There's no first person writing in this. And make sure that you do your citation properly on a separate page. You're going to submit all of this as a Word document, or you can write directly on the link when you tap on the link there. And let's see if there's anything else. Right, so you just have to choose one of these two. Again, it has to be at least 3 pages. Make sure that you also submit a copy of the article that you read with highlighted text so that I know where you found that information that you're writing about. And I think that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, please email me or start a discussion board thread about um, this specific assignment. Again, the due date is Sunday, August 16th. But I try to break it down as easy as possible so that you guys can have something to go off of and not make it so complicated. But what I really want you guys to just do is make sure that you're reading that information and digesting it and then analyzing it and give me, some good um, analyzation of, how you can use this right now in whatever field that you're working in. So, one of the things I didn't mention was the topics that you can choose. Now, they have to be very relevant to our class. We deal with athletes and injuries, right? So, it has to be something related to injury, to rehabilitation of injuries, prevention of injuries, um, and I do want to see it where the studies have subjects within our demographic. So that usually means athletes, that could be adolescents, that could be pro athletes, um, or older athletes, but it has to be something related to athletes or even active people. Something where the people are doing some sort of activity and they're active, let's say weekend warriors or something. But if you're going to submit a study that's based on let's say an older population where there's stroke victims or anything like that, it's going to be a lot harder to relate to our class, and you may lose points for that if you're not doing a good job of that. So to make it easier, just choose studies that are more relevant to our class, and and that'll help you get points and make sure that you don't lose any points. All right, class. So that's it. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.